Alice Paul, a radical suffragist, changed the lives of 20th century women. She influenced the passing of the 19th Amendment with her radical tactics. Alice Paul was born on January 11, 1885, in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, to William and Tracy Paul. Her father was a successful businessman, and her mother was a member of the National American Women's Suffrage Association, also known as NAWSA. Alice Paul's background and upbringing is what helped her shape her ideas. Her mother brought her to many of the NAWSA meetings that she attended, giving Alice Paul a head start on suffrage ideas. She, along with her 3 siblings, was raised in a Quaker society that believed in gender equality. She attended a Hicksite school in New Jersey and graduated first in her class. In an interview with Alice Paul, she stated, "When the Quakers were founded, one of their principles was and is equality of the sexes, so I never had any other idea. The principle was always there." After high school, she attended Swarthmore College. Her grandfather had founded the college on the belief that men and women should be allowed to have equal opportunities in education. Alice was the only one out of her siblings that stayed in college for all 4 years. While there, she earned a degree in biology and was an active member in the executive board of student government. She was also considered to be reliable and mature. Later on in life, she would go on and earn degrees in sociology, economics, and multiple degrees in law. In 1907, Alice Paul made the voyage to England, where she learned how to be a militant suffragist. She worked with Christabel Pankhurst, the daughter of England's most radical militant suffragist. Emmeline Pankhurst, believing in prayer, petition, and patience was not enough to successfully enfranchise the women. The Pankhursts engaged in direct and visible measures such as heckling, window smashing, and throwing rocks. In 1910, Paul returned to America with the hope of using what she learned in England to help her with the suffrage movement in America. Upon her return, she joined the NAWSA, just like her mother, and was appointed as head of the Congressional Committee for a Federal Suffrage Amendment. On March 3, 1913, she organized a parade in Washington, D.C., led by a female lawyer wearing a Greek robes and riding a white horse. As the parade made its way down Pennsylvania Avenue, men shouted insults, and it soon became violent as the police stood and watched. The parade made headline news among the public and politicians. Though Alice Paul shared many ideas with the NAWSA, they wanted to focus more on a federal amendment. While NAWSA supported Wilson, Paul only wanted to hold him responsible for women's problems. In 1916, Paul severed ties to the NAWSA and formed the National Women Party, also known as NWP. The NWP stood in front of the White House and shouted phrases against Wilson. In 1917, the NWP protested the press against World War I and was attacked by the angry mobs and was arrested for obstructing traffic. When arrested, they wanted to be treated as political prisoners. When this was refused, they staged hunger strikes. Alice Paul was force-fed and then eventually put into an asylum. She did not recover until 2 years later. This caused for her to have more supporters. Due to the treatment of suffragists in prison, Wilson changed his position on the suffrage movement in 1919. The House and the Senate passed the amendment. In 1920, the votes for Tennessee came down to 24-year-old Harry Burns. Originally planning on voting no, he changed his vote after receiving a message from his mother. "Dear son, hurry and vote for suffrage, and don't keep them in doubt. I noticed Chandler's speech. It was very bitter. I've been waiting to see how you stood, but have not seen anything yet. Don't forget to be a good boy and help Miss Cat with her rats. Is she the one that put rat in ratification? Ha. No more from Mama this time. With lots of love, Mama." The 72-year battle of women's suffrage ended on August 18, 1920. Alice Paul said, "I never doubted that equal rights was the right direction. Most reforms, most problems are complicated, but to me, there is nothing complicated about ordinary equality." On July 19, 1977, after leading a very successful life, Alice Paul passed away, leaving behind an everlasting legacy due to her